All right, welcome back. Time to get to the live. The main course of this now spinning stream is Don Toliver, Lovesick. Like I said, it came out some weeks ago. Never got around to listening to it, but since we did hear Toliver last week, I figured you should have to go back and give this one a listen to. I've talked about him a few occasions and how he's always kind of like popped up on a lot of people's songs as features, and a lot of artists seem to like to work with them, and he always adds a lot to people's songs, but I haven't really heard that much from him solo wise. He hasn't put out a ton of projects out that I don't recall. So right when I said that, of course, he drops, you know, an album, a full album of his own. So I don't know if this is a debut. Let's check it out. Let's see how many albums he's actually put out. So this is his third project. His last one was in 2021, Life of a Don. All right, so I mean, he's still had, I guess, a decent amount of projects. I just haven't personally heard it or heard too many people like discussing it, but here we are. Lovesick, newest album. Don Toliver. Let's go. Track number 2. We'll start track number 2. Let Her Go featuring James Blake. I mean, the production is solid right off the back. Very Travis Scott-esque, who, of course, that's who he signed to. Kind of his lineage. It's got that kind of heavy trap influence to it, and the beat's solid. I guess James Blake is just now kicking in. I was hoping I'd get a little bit more kind of, I don't know, kind of out there alternative production or sound when you have James Blake. That's what you want to see. You want to hear some shit that you wouldn't expect, but let's check it out. It was cool. It was all right. Like I said, the production was solid. I don't know. I feel like it was kind of a wasted opportunity to have James Blake on one of your songs. I think the production could have stretched and expanded and went a little bit more exciting directions than what we got here, which is kind of just a typical generic R&B type of beat that you would hear from a lot of artists from this particular generation. Not a bad song in any way, but was just hoping for a little bit more, but it was cool. Let's go to the next one. Leave the Club featuring Lil Durk and Glorilla. At least the production was definitely more interesting, and I think those synths were trippy, to say the least. I think that sounds like more like James Blake type of synths and kind of experimentation than on the last song, but it was an interesting turn. Didn't really expect to hear Lil Durk and Glorilla on a production like this, and I don't necessarily think Lil Durk fully caught kind of the rhythm and on this song here, but overall it was decent. It was just decent, easy to listen to. Let's go to For Me featuring Kelly Uchis, who is his in real life girlfriend. So okay, it sounds and feels like kind of like early 2000s like R&B. Kind of like that pop R&B sound. Like I'm digging this one so far. Like I think this production had me the most excited right now. Yeah, like I said, kind of remind me like almost like early Neptune's Pharrell's type sense and beats that you would hear from like those late 90s, early 2000s that they would kind of use a lot, and they were sharp. That production was sharp. I don't think it was as good as Kelly Uchis' song on her album with him, which is Fantasy, but I think it was a decent song, probably my favorite song that I've heard so far. But yeah, cool. All right, we'll listen to Go Down. I don't know who this Korean is, but we'll check it out. And the drums on this one are hitting. This is fire right now. Like, those drums are tough. Okay, go down. I don't know if I heard Tizikran did. I don't know when or if he was on the song or if that was him at the end, because I didn't really hear like a guest verse or guest feature on it. But that is probably my favorite song that I've heard so far out of this project. Go Down. Those drums were absolutely incredible. Since we're dope, I love kind of the switch up at the end where it went almost like straight R&B. His vocals sounded the best with the production here. Like, I'll go down. Probably my favorite song right now. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to Honeymoon. So I don't really like hear him without auto-tune that often, because I mean, like I said, I don't really check for him, like personally go out of my way to check for him too much. But it's funny to hear him now without this auto-tune, because at first I really thought that was like Trinidad James on the intro of this, and I was like, that is a strange kind of callback to somebody who I haven't heard from in years now. But he definitely has similar kind of vocal qualities and similarities, at least without the auto-tune. That might be my favorite song. Now, I don't know. That production was dope. It definitely kind of reminded me of like Castronada type of sound and production, which is dope. And I think it matches extremely well with his vocals and his style. And Honeymoon was dope. Be vibing the whole time. Let's go to the next one. Private Landing featuring Justin Bieber and Future. Dope. I didn't really know how that song was gonna go with Justin Bieber and Future on here, and it went in a direction I really didn't expect. Definitely a little bit harder, a little more trap rap kind of esque, and wasn't sure if Justin Bieber is still kind of doing that type of music, because I know he's, you know, newly like back delivered into Christianity and religion and stuff, and I haven't heard him since Yummy Yummy, honestly. But he was actually dope on the song, and so was Future. So shout out to both of them. That was a dope song. Let's go to Slow Motion featuring Wizkid. That was a good song, good vibe, super vibey, super wavy, almost like strip club music, man. Like if you see it like late nights, kind of in that wave. But Wizkid always adds a lot to songs, and this was a dope little collaboration between the two. Go to Do It Right. Feeling this one. I wasn't kind of expecting this kind of house EDM dance elements to kind of sneak into it, but obviously that's kind of the wave these days, especially with, you know, kind of in the hip hop and R&B realm. And this is dope. This dope little mashup of different sounds and styles and everything. This is a cool little song. Dope. I like those little kind of backing vocals that he's got going on there. I don't know if that's him just doing ad-libs, but definitely added a lot layer wise. And then you had, like I said, all the different elements for like EDM, dance, and kind of house elements popping into it, which really switched things up to a very like unique, unexpected way. But I was digging it. Let's go to Bus Stop featuring Brent Baez, who is easily probably one of the most successful independent R&B artists out there or ever. So you're just going, there's no like sneaking in elements or layering. This is sounding like just a straight up kind of like dance track that you would get from like one of Beyonce's last projects or Drake's, one of Drake's was it Honestly Nevermind type of sound and project. So cool. Dope. The latest kind of R&B pop kind of artist, hop into like kind of dance lane. But did it pretty well here. Let's go to the next track, Cinderella. I mean, shout out to you know, Toliver, one of my favorite artists in recent times. I can definitely think of. I fell in love with him like early days of like 2013, 2014, and I think he's evolved into this incredible artist who's influenced so many different acts all over across genres that you probably wouldn't even realize. So it's dope to see, you know, Don Toliver reach out to him and get him on a song. Now I don't really see, or I couldn't really hear his kind of contribution, I guess. Maybe I have to like go back and listen to it again, but I wish it was kind of like a bit more prominent because I love Toliver, but the song was dope. So I do know he did drop a deluxe edition and he added like 4 more songs. I'm definitely not gonna listen to all 4 of those, but there's one song featuring Travis Scott that, come on, we gotta listen to because it's Travis Scott and we haven't heard from him in a big way in a long time. And you know, they are kind of very similar type of artists. So let's check this one out. Embarrassed. Last one for Don Toliver tonight. I know a lot of people kind of consider Don Toliver to be like Travis Scott light or like diet Travis Scott, and while it's kind of a bit derivative and a bit kind of downplaying what he does unique and in his own kind of way and style, you can definitely hear it here. And if you weren't really paying attention, you really wouldn't be able to kind of tell the two apart. But I think one does actually sound better, at least more appealing to me, and that's Travis Scott. But Don is also dope, but I definitely think Travis Scott is still on like a different level than Don is, even though he's kind of been, I think, elevating himself over the past few years. Dope. I think those two together always kind of like deliver fire and magic, and this is just another one of those tracks. If anything, it really just makes me want to hear Travis Scott in full force again, man. I think it's time, bro. Like I think it's time. We were supposed to have an album like a year or two ago, obviously. For obvious reasons we didn't, which was smart on his part, but I think it's time, bro. I think it's time. You can come out now. So hopefully that means Scott is just around the corner. But yeah, that's it for Don Toliver, Lovesick. We went through quite a bit of the album. Overall feelings is that it was started out a little bit slow. I wasn't necessarily feeling some of the opening tracks. I think that he started to definitely hit a groove towards the latter half of the album. Production wise was phenomenal for the most part. All highly enjoyable, effective, super well produced, clean. I think it just kind of delivered everything that you would kind of expect from an artist that is signed to Travis Scott and has access to all these like big name producers and artists and whatnot. So I think sonically it was a very clean, very well produced, very well put together album that was enjoyable from front to back. I think it was like I said, the first half was a bit sluggish, and I don't think it necessarily hit until about track number 4 or 5. But overall, it was like a very sonically enjoyable album. Vocally, I don't always love him and his auto-tune. I think it can wear a bit thin over time, and at 16 tracks plus another 4 in the deluxe edition, I think it can definitely drag on a bit, because I don't think he's necessarily the strongest vocally, but it is more of like a stylistic choice, and something that you have to kind of like truly be a fan of to like appreciate what he's doing. But it's kind of his pastiche, you could say. That is his calling card, so it's like to be expected, but I definitely think it kind of can wear thin a bit upon like long listening sessions. Lyrically, I don't think there's anything to even like talk about or write home about. It's all very hollow, very superficial, very surface level. I don't think there was a ton of depth to anything that he was saying. There was not any lines that really jumped out at me or caught my attention or like made me want to like run that back. It's almost all about the vibe. For him, it's always kind of been style over substance, and this is just yet another kind of collection of songs and a project that is once again aesthetically very pleasing, sonically very pleasing, but once you kind of get below that surface level, go beyond skin deep, I don't think there's much bones there. Just not a lot to kind of like grab onto. And while there is something to be said about music that is just easy listening, easy to kind of hop onto, easy kind of just throw on and just vibe out to, there's definitely a lane for that. But to make me really want to go back and like check this out again and again and again, I need a little something more lyrically, and here he's not really giving you anything at all. So like I said, very commercial, very enjoyable, something that you can throw on, inoffensive in pretty much all shapes and forms, but nothing that's gonna like really stick out to me or make me like remember months down the line, but enjoyable nonetheless.